Hey, we have a special guest today, Maddie Holkema. She's an archer, and our pleasure to interview her. And that's what we'll be talking about today. And today, my name is Roy Canterbury. I'm going to be host today on Archery Talk 101. And like I said, we're going to be talking with Maddie, and we're also going live in the Archery Talk 101 Facebook group. So if you're in that group, you can always get on and make some comments. We can answer them live. So if we kind of sidetrack this because somebody had a comment. So once again, Maddie Holkema is our guest today, and I'd like you to introduce yourself and tell us a little something about yourself and how you got started in archery.
Hi everybody. Yeah, my name's Maddie. I'm a 14-year-old archer. I live in Edmonton, Alberta, and I got into archery because when I was 4 years old, I was diagnosed with something called cystic nephroma, which is a kind of tumor which was attached to one of my kidneys. And so luckily I went to the Children's Stollery Hospital and they took really good care of me. And turns out that my tumor was benign, so it wasn't cancerous. So then they removed it, and along with that, they had to remove my kidney. And unfortunately, because of that, I cannot play contact sports. So that's why archery is perfect for me.
So, yeah, not much contact sport in archery, is there?
No.
But the only contact is if you shoot too long drawings, you hit your arm. Yeah, and that'll feel good when you do that, does it?
No, not at all.
So how long have you been shooting archery?
4 or 5 years now.
Oh, okay. So you started pretty young then.
Yeah. My dad got me my first bow for my 8th birthday. So
Oh, does your dad also shoot?
yeah, he does.
Oh, well, that's nice that he shoots as well. And
Yeah.
what have you been doing in archery so far?
So I shoot all kind of types of archery. So I shoot target, field, 3D. I haven't tried hunting it just because I don't think I quite have the heart for it. But I do lots of competitions and stuff like that. Do them with like my family, my friends, and stuff. And yeah, so my first competition, I completely bombed it. It was kind of a rough go, but that was okay because I found that it didn't discourage me at all. I kind of found that it kind of made me want to kind of shoot more and prepare myself for more competitions before I go and stuff like that. So I found that really started me off to getting into archery. And my mom and dad made a deal with me that if I were to shoot a 180 score, then they buy me a thing of glowing knocks for my arrows. And I got that. And I was super happy and stuff like that. And then I went and met my coach. My coach, his name's Alan Southwood. He's from Calgary Archery Center, and he basically like picked me up, and he like changed my release, my arrows, and quite a bit of stuff on my form. And I used all of that stuff to go to my first nationals, where I went not expecting to like win or do that great or anything, but I ended up bringing 3 out of 3 gold medals home, and ended up breaking a couple records. So that was really exciting. And along with that, I also brought home some pretty great friendships that I still have today and stuff. That's probably one of the things I love most about archery, is like all the people that do it are so nice and stuff. It's just a really great community.
Yeah, just kind of, if you're an archer, you're automatically a friend.
Yeah, basically.
All help each other out. I know coaches, they can really help you out, and they can also make a lot of changes. I know I've been coaching since '95, so I've been coaching for about a few years, and help a lot of new archers out. And that a good coach that you get along with is really, really important.
Yeah. Yeah.
So what kind of bow do you shoot? Is it compound, recurve, longbow?
Yeah, I shoot I shoot mostly compound, but sometimes I also have recurve. So sometimes I'll shoot that. But I do most of my competition stuff with my compound. So
Yeah, I mostly use a compound. That's mostly what I teach. But like you, I have a compound that I normally use, but I also have recurves to shoot. I started out in the '60s shooting a 25-pound fiberglass recurve bow, and I still have it. Yeah, I won't shoot it because the fiberglass is starting to come apart, but it's one of those things that you just can't get rid of it. It's your first bow, and you just got to keep it around.
mhm.
So where do you see yourself going with your archery journey?
um well, well, my I see myself trying to, if I put in enough hard work and dedication and stuff like that, my big goal is to maybe one day go to the Olympics, is kind of the direction I want to go. Um, and I'm going to the next Vegas shoot for archery, which is like my first world competition in a couple months. And so that's gonna be fun. Um, no, but I think the biggest thing that kind of like I want to leave behind with my archery journey is like I want to have like kind of other archers or like other young female archers like kind of see me as like their role model, kind of, in a way. Because I find that lots of times, like when I go to shoots and stuff, people don't really take me seriously because like I'm a young female archer, and but like as soon as I step onto the shooting line, like none of that really matters, because that's kind of like my time to shine and stuff, and to prove to people that I deserve to be standing there. So like going to like the Olympics and stuff like that, I kind of just like want to prove to people that like everybody can do like whatever they put their mind to, kind of thing. So
That's some good goals, to have that as a goal, to go to the Olympics. And at your age, you've got a lot of time to prepare for it, and a lot of the shooting you can go to, and it's really nice. What would you say to other young ladies in your age group that are thinking about starting it or afraid to start it?
just if you really truly enjoy doing it, then that's kind of all that matters. It doesn't matter going and like winning in competitions and stuff like that. It matters if you have fun. And like just doesn't matter what other people say, kind of things, just as long as you go out there and you know that you can do it.
And that's kind of a theme, no matter where you're at. It's like what you're trying to do, just go for it. And don't worry about what anybody else thinks. Worry about what you think and how you enjoy it.
Yeah.
So besides your dad, who else in your family shoots?
So at one point we were all shooting. But so my mom, she got like carpal tunnel or something in her wrist. So she can't really shoot anymore, which kind of sucks because she was really good at it. But me, my dad, and my younger brother all shoot. And I have a new baby sister, so she can't shoot quite yet, but as soon as she's able to, I'm sure my dad's gonna be putting a bow in her hand.
Yeah, let big sister show her the way, right?
Mhm. Yeah. So yeah, archery is a really big thing in our family. So
That's good. How much practice time do you put in a week?
it all kind of depends. Like if I'm getting ready for a competition, I'll kind of try to push myself to shoot as much as I can before it. Like I'll probably be shooting usually like 6 out of 7 days a week or so. I have an archery range in my bedroom, so just
That's nice.
yeah, so I can just go and shoot some arrows and stuff. Um, and yeah, and normally if it's just kind of like a break time from competitions, I'll still try to shoot as much as I can. Normally like 3 or 4 times a week.
Yeah, 3 or 4 times a week just to keep up the skills, and then
Yeah.
hit it really hard right before an event to get you going. And so what kind of steps do you go through when you're getting ready for an event?
Well, I have like a mental management journal thing that like I write down some notes and stuff like a couple days prior to a competition, just to like get myself into the mindset to going and shooting. And normally like a week or so before a competition, you kind of just want to taper off a little bit, just so your body can have a little time to relax and prepare yourself to go shoot and stuff. Yeah, basically just lots and lots and lots of practice.
Now, when you're getting on the line, do you have a certain routine that you go through, as far as how you're holding the bow, how you're lifting and drawing it, and if you're hold shot press, do you have something that you go through consistently? Or
Yeah, very much so. Find like almost every single time I go up there, I do try to do stuff almost exactly the same. Like the order that I go through stuff, like checking my feet and like put my arrow on, grab my release and stuff. I do that all sort of in the same routine, just then each shot kind of feels the same. And like even if there's distractions or anything, just kind of like blocking those out, or like one of the biggest, most important things. Yeah, it just kind of like before I shoot, I kind of just look at the target and kind of like picture my arrow being right smack dab in the middle, and just kind of like in my mind go through my shot before I go and actually do anything. Yeah.
using visualization to visualize that arrow hitting right in the center where you want it.
Yeah.
That's always a good technique, because now you're putting positive vibes out there to get what you want.
Yeah. Having a good mental game is really, really important in the competitive side of archery. Just because like if you go into a practice day, maybe not feeling 100% into it and carrying that out through the whole practice, it's definitely a lot harder to have the arrows go where you want them to. Whereas if you go into a competition or a practice day, like, oh yeah, I'm going to do awesome today or something, then it's a lot easier just to kind of keep that momentum going of like positive attitude and stuff like that.
That's a big part of the game, isn't it?
Yeah.
So being only 14, how did you learn all those techniques of visualization and how to, make things happen like that?
A lot of it comes from my coach. Yeah, a lot of it comes from my coach and my dad. Just they all kind of just tell me that, just follow and do what you know what to do.
Sounds like your dad and your coach are really inspiration to you.
Yeah. Yeah, if it weren't for them, I would not be as far as I am today. So
Yeah, that's always nice when you have support like that.
yeah.
So anything else you'd like to tell the listeners?
Hmm. Not too much. I think I went through most of the stuff that I wanted to say.
Now, what do you say about those that think they can do this on their own without having a coach? It's like, I don't need a coach. I can do this I can learn to do it myself. What do you say to them?
They could probably do it. But it's definitely, it makes things a lot easier to have somebody there for you, kind of to help you. Just having kind of like that safeguard kind of thing. But if like you truly feel like you could go and do it on your own, I'm sure they could.
It's just a matter of how long you want to spend learning it. You can
Yeah.
learn it on your own, or you can have a coach teach you in a short period of time.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's been really nice talking to you. It's inspirational to see someone like you that is gone through some difficulties and found a sport that really is enjoyable. It's a lifetime sport. There's people doing this, been doing it for 60, 70 years. And I know I've got one guy in the group that's been shooting bows for 70 years. And I've been doing it for almost 60 now. So, it's a sport that you can do. We change things, we may not be able to shoot as much weight as we do as younger, but
Yeah.
so what kind of draw weight are you using in your competition bow?
I think I pulled back like 45 pounds or so. I probably could pull back quite a bit more, but I shoot a lot of arrows at a time. So, I just don't really want to hurt myself or anything.
And that's actually, quite a bit of weight for, like young lady your age. A lot of adult ladies don't even pull that. So that's good. All the practice you're doing, you've got a good technique. Your coach has done really good at helping you get there. And I know it's nicer because the arrow's a little bit faster, and you don't have all that arc, the arrow going way up and way down. And
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that really helps for the 3D portion and like outside shooting, because you don't want your arrows just kind of with this huge arc, because then the wind can really mess things up quite a bit.
yeah, the longer it spins in the air, the more the wind can affect it.
Yeah.
So do you mostly do target shooting, or do you do a lot of 3D shooting, or what's kind of your mix on what you shoot?
So for sure during the winter, obviously I shoot a lot of target and stuff. And in the summer, that's when I go and do like 3D and field and things like that. So yeah, so during the summer, shooting 3D outdoor when it's nice outside, and then when it's cold and nasty, then that's when I spend most of my time shooting target.
Yeah, kind of tough to do much 3D shooting outside in the winter time where you live, isn't it?
Yeah, it gets really cold.
Yeah, it gets really cold. I'm in Nebraska and it can get cold here too. And I just don't like going out in the cold. You get stiff and sore and hard to draw back your bow. And it's just so much nicer in the summertime, especially when it's not really, really hot.
Yeah,
So what part of archery do you enjoy the most?
probably that I get to do it with a whole bunch of people that I enjoy spending time with. I think that's probably the biggest thing.
That's good. Now, does your dad go to the tournaments with you then? Does he shoot or just spectator?
Most of the times it kind of depends on the competition. Like if if it's this huge competition, like most of the time he'll be there behind me just to make sure like that I'm following my process and stuff, not getting in my own head, just like as support. But if he knows that I can go and do it myself, then he'll go off and shoot himself. So
It sounds like a good dad.
yeah.
So what's your biggest struggle you've had so far?
Probably think discrimination kind of thing. I've had some problems with some people in the past of them not really wanting me kind of in the sport, which really sucks. But
Yeah,
it's a thing in every single sport. Like everybody has to deal with that at some point or other. So it just kind of all depends on how you can take it and kind of bounce back from it. That's kind of just the biggest thing, making sure that you're able to bounce back, not let that tear you away from doing the sport you love and stuff like that.
you know what you're doing, you enjoy doing, and don't care what anybody else thinks.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of what you need to do, is just kind of look at, hey, I enjoy doing this. You don't like it, you can leave, right?
Yeah.
So is there, is your dad around? Do you want to come on here and talk a little bit about your archery skills? So I thought I heard him in the background a couple of times.
Yeah.
Let's get on there and meet him. Meet this awesome dad.
Hi.
Hi, how you doing?
Good.
And what is your first name?
My name is Sean.
Sean. Okay, Sean. Nice meeting you. Nice having you on here. And I was honored to have your daughter come on here on this podcast and talk about archery. And it sounds like she's doing really good. And I know part of it is you're doing. But I'd like to.
She's way better than me. She's
well,
she's taking it to a whole new level. So
isn't that the goal of a coach or dad, to make the student or the kids better than they are?
Oh, 100%.
Yeah. So
we have
when
some friendly competitions between us sometimes. She gives me like a 13-point handicap and I still lose.
Yeah, that's good. Keep it up, right? So Sean, when did you start in archery?
When I was younger, I think I was like 9 or 10 when I started. I don't even know what really got me into it, but I just remember going to the range. I lived in Ontario, so I would drive about half hour to get to the range, and then go take lessons there, and I really enjoyed it. I didn't shoot the best, but I still enjoyed it, had fun. I kind of fell out of it when I was in high school. Um, and then I hadn't shot again until Maddie was looking for a sport with, like she was saying, she can't do contact sports. So um, I suggested she try it, and I bought her a bow, and she tried it. She loved it. I went out and bought myself another bow again, and then the wife got one for her birthday, and then we have three other kids. So the two boys, they both got bows and were shooting, and then youngest daughter, she's only 7 months, so she has her first bow coming in the mail, but it's not doesn't have it yet. So yeah, I've just kind of had a passion for it for quite a while.
So where do you plan on taking your archery journey?
I just kind of play around with it. I just kind of I guess follow in her footsteps. I just practice when she practices, and I'm just there most of the time. But yeah, I'm starting to take it a little bit more serious. Like I've gone to like provincials and things like that, but not like I said, not anywhere near her level. I'm way too shaky for this. I don't know how she gets it in the middle every single time.
I know as we get older, we get a little more shaky, harder to hold steady, and
Yeah,
that's kind of the curse of getting older.
yeah.
So what would it feel like when you're sitting in the Olympics watching her shoot in the Olympics?
Amazing. I don't know really any other way to say that. Like she's on a pretty good pathway right now. Um she's done like numerous competitions. We have them all like listed on a resume for her, but I couldn't even begin to list them off by like off of my head. But yeah, she's done so much already that I'm just super proud. So
Yeah, and you should be. You know that's a lot. You know, saying a lot for Maddie on her dedication to a sport that is really, you know, inspiration to a lot of people, and it's a good sport to learn. You know, you always you have a skill that you can always fall back on. You know, like you did when you started out and come back to it. You might be a little rusty, but you know that's just something that you can pick back up.
yeah, lots of the things that I learned as a kid, I was able to kind of teach to her, like having these goals and stuff. Like she went in to talk about the glowing knocks that she got for reaching her goal of 180. So she had to
Yeah.
shoot 180 3 times in a row in order for us to give her these glowing knocks, blue glowing knocks. And it took her a couple months of pushing and pushing for this, right? And then when she finally got it, she was just so excited, so excited. And then she puts them in her arrows and then finds out she can't shoot competitions with them.
Can't shoot competitions with the glowing knocks.
Right. But she used them for practice. She made a couple of videos with them.
Yeah.
Just had used them for a lot of fun. The batteries have long since died.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's it's still a good reminder for her too, because when she was pushing and pushing and pushing to reach this 180, now she's like shooting in the like 285s to 295s, right? So it's just crazy how much better she's gotten since then. And I just have to remind her, like, remember, you know, because she's like, oh, I can't do this, I can't do this. It's like, remember back then, you know, you said you couldn't do this either, right? And then look at you now, right? So just helps in her mental game, you know, to have those reminders.
Yeah.
Now your next goal is to get a 300.
Yep.
Yeah, she's almost done it in outers. So just yeah, she's 295 is her best inners game so far. That's pretty much all we shoot up here is inners, but I know for Vegas they do outers, so we're trying to keep that in mind and get used to that too, right?
Yeah. Now, for our listeners that may not be that familiar with it, what's the difference between an inner and an outer?
So the inner is about the size of a dime, the inner target, the inner 10. The outer 10 is roughly the size of a golf ball, would you say?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. So, and then the inner 10 counts as an X in those scenarios, right?
Yeah.
Games are out of 300. So 30 arrows shot at 18 meters or 20 yards. Yeah.
Waiting for your 330X.
Yep. She's working
You
on
know,
it.
a lot of them, if you don't get a 300 on some of those big competitions, you can't win unless you get a 300. It goes by X count. And
Exactly.
one X different can mean first to third or something,
Yeah.
First to 57th.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were
Lots
looking
of
at the results there and stuff, and like from previous years, and it seems like it's pretty good competition. So we're pretty excited because there's not as big a competitions up here. So like it's sometimes there's just not enough competition here. Although the girls competition for compound is getting a lot more here in Alberta, which is awesome. It wasn't enough for a while. So to go down to Vegas and see that there's all these girls that are shooting at her level and or better even, that's going to be incredible experience.
Yeah.
Yeah, it will be. Get a little traveling in,
Yeah.
meet a lot of new friends.
Yeah.
Like you talked about earlier, that's one of the things, if you're an archer, you're automatically a friend.
Yeah.
So that's just kind of the way, the community is, and, willing to help each other out. If there's something you're struggling with, another archer, be willing to step up and say, hey, here's what you're doing. Here's what I see you doing, take it or leave it, because there's a lot of opinions out there, but
Yeah. Yeah, and to be at an event with that many archers is just going to be incredible too. Like I think they said they had like 4,000 archers or something like that at one point.
Yeah, that's
yeah, that's amazing. How big of a group you can get together like that, and just shooting bows.
The biggest she's been as far as 600. So
yeah, I know here in Nebraska we have an outdoor event every year, and at this one, actually a lot of them, this guy lives in Iowa here, and named Matt Stutzman. I don't know if you're familiar with who he is.
no, I haven't.
He's
haven't
the
heard.
armless archer.
Oh, okay. Yes. Yep. We have him on.
Yeah, I seen a video of him, shooting, no arms. He's, they're just little bitty stubs. And I got to talk with him for quite a while at the event. And yeah, he's amazing. And, how he got started in archery, and it's amazing the fact that, you can shoot with no arms.
Yeah.
You don't need arms to shoot a bow.
Yeah. And he shoots it really well too. Like
yeah.
He went to Olympics and the Paralympics, and the one I watched, he come in second place, against another archer. I forget what his name was now, but he had one arm. But I was at an event and here in Nebraska, and I see this guy walking around with from the shoulder gone on one arm, just carrying a bow. And then I seen another guy with the other arm missing, carrying a bow. and look at him, and it's like, oh, okay. So I looked a little closer at their bow. It's a little bit different, and there's a big tab on there, and that's on that one they just bite it and draw, and you're not gonna shoot a lot of weight with that, because your teeth have to hold it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's it's an inspiration when you see somebody that is going through struggles. Like Maddie, she has a struggle that she went through, and she found archery, and it's amazing what that sport can do.
Mm-hmm. It really is. Yeah. The level that those archers are at too, right, is just it's incredible that you can get to that point, and it like you said, it is very inspirational, like for anybody to see that. So
Yeah. So do they have archery in the schools up there?
there's a few around the city, but
There's only like 3 or so.
yeah,
It's
her teachers kind of learned of her success and are trying to get it into the school. They have like what's called the NAS program. I'm assuming
Right.
that's the same as down there too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So they're trying to get that into the schools, which is a bit different. But currently, yeah, she doesn't have that option, but she is already kind of eyeing up, looking for scholarships and stuff like that too, that she can do post-secondary through archery. And yeah, there's some pretty cool schools down in the States actually that you guys have that I think she's pretty interested in going to.
yeah.
That would be a nice little journey to coming to a different school and just shooting archery and
Yeah.
Yeah, I know there's some archers from here in Canada, like Austin Taylor, who's shooting down at one of the schools there we follow, and they seem to really support him very well too. So it's kind of her goal was to go through that, but no, it's a smaller goal than the Olympics, but
that's a step.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I know we'll see you in the Olympics. We'll have to watch for it. You'll get there. But with your practice ethic and your attitude, I know you're going to make it there.
Thank you. That means a lot.
Yeah, I can see, you're gonna make it. Whatever you put your mind to, you're gonna be able to do. And I'm sure your dad agrees.
Oh yeah. Oh, yeah. She works really hard, so she definitely puts in the time that she needs to, and like her practice routine is pretty intense, like you guys were talking about.
Yeah.
I don't go into too much detail about it, but yeah, like some mornings she'll wake up at like 6:30 in the morning before school and shoot a couple games of on her recurve, and then in the evening she'll shoot her compound, and then yeah, she'll have like certain days where she's just working on conditioning, just getting as many arrows as she can through. Then other days she'll work on like her precision. Some days, we've had to go to the gym a few times. That's pretty important too.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, keeping that strength up in the whole body helps out a lot too, doesn't it?
kind of evening it all up too, right? So you're not just getting one arm that's huge and one arm that's yeah,
Yeah, like Popeye arm in one and nothing in the other one, right?
exactly. So you gotta kind of keep up on it all.
Yeah.
Well, and you get pretty good back muscles when you're drawing back too, because you're using the back all the time when you're drawing it. And that really strengthens those up too, and it helps out everything too.
Yeah, you should tell them about you arm wrestling all the boys in the class.
And you're beating them, aren't you?
Yeah.
Yep. It kind of makes them not want to mess with you, right?
Yeah.
So when you're shooting, like the recurve and the compound, are you changing a little bit of your mental state when you pick up the two different bows, or how is that working?
Kind of. I still want to keep like the positive attitude of, even if there's one shot that's not as good, it's okay, just look past it. But like the visualizing aspect of it and stuff changes quite a bit, since the bows and when you shoot them are like almost completely different. Um, but the actual mental part usually stays somewhat similar. Just the actual physical part of picking up the bow and stuff changes quite a bit.
A little bit different bow. Now on your recurve, do you use sights on it?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, she has an Olympic recurve there, all set up. What was it called? I know it's a Hoyt. I'm not sure what the model number is, but it was it's one the Formula XI or something.
Yeah, something like that.
So it's pretty good bow. And then she has the black gold sight for it, stabilizers.
Yeah, stabilizers that are so big that like when I'm walking off the line or something, sometimes I'll feel like I'm gonna take someone out with them.
Yeah, some of those are the Olympic style recurves, man. Sometimes they have long O stabilizers on them and everything else and sights and all that. My recurve I shoot without sights, and I have a different mindset when I'm picking up the recurve as do the compound. I can't shoot a compound without sights. It just this mental block that I have. I completely instinctive, pick up the recurve. I'm not looking for sights. I'm focusing on where the arrow's going to go and, just adjust your body to hit. And then with the compound, I draw back like my anchor point and I'm looking at, the kisser button and the nose and the sights and all that. And it's just a different weapon. Different mental attitude between the two. And, that's what I was wondering, because you shoot one during the day, maybe one down at night, and that's what I switched between two different styles. And I was wondering if you had much variation in that.
Yeah, sometimes I find too when I shoot my recurve in the morning and then I go to draw back my compound later, I'll pull back my compound and I'll pull it back like so easy and I'll be like, whoa, hold on.
Something's wrong here.
Something's not right. But it's just because the recurve, it's like it takes so much more like energy and stuff to pull back and hold it there and stuff. Compared to the compound where you draw it back and you're not holding all that weight there.
No let off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let off.
So what weight is your recurve?
I think it's like 25. I think
24.
24. I pulled back.
24.
Yeah.
Now, is that what you actually pull back at your draw length, or is that what it's rated at?
That's what it's rated at.
Rated at.
I think with her draw length, it ends up being at like almost 30. But
Yeah, I have really.
yeah, we tease. She has gorilla arms.
What is your draw length?
Like 29.
Yeah, it's I think 28 and a half, wasn't it?
Yeah,
28
20.
and a half.
So yeah, she's getting up there. She's
Yeah.
taller than so
Yeah.
Yeah, with 28 and a half inch draw length, that gives you a little bit more draw weight than what it's rated at.
yeah.
It's about 3 pounds per inch is what they judge it at.
Okay.
And they're rated at normally at 28 inches a draw length.
Okay.
So you're
No.
you're probably pulling 25, 25, 26, somewhere around in there.
You were probably
Yeah.
right from the beginning. She went to a top camp in BC and they measured everything. So I know she knows the numbers. I'm not as familiar with them. So her coach really pushes for her to learn the recurve, where I'm not as familiar with the recurve. I'm more of a compound guy. So I try to help where I can, but it's not as good as they are.
Yeah, it's kind of tough to when you're not used to shooting a recurve to help coach her much. But
Yeah.
one of the things you could do is just listen, watch her coach how he's teaching her, and then
It's pretty much what I try to mirror it a little bit. I try to
right.
echo it, I should say.
And then Maddie, when you having struggles, just think back of what your coach said and and do this and that. I know I had a couple come in one time when I was working at the archery store, and I was teaching her how to shoot, and he had shot, she was just new at it, and he kept trying to tell her stuff, and because he didn't know what he was doing. And I taught her how to shoot because, you know, the ideal archery student is a female. Well, you know, so, you know, guys, sometimes we don't have this attitude that anybody can teach us anything. Well, so I taught her how to shoot. She come back, you know, a few weeks later, and she was out shooting him. She would pick which part of the X-ray to put it in. She said, every time he tried to tell me something, it's like I had Roy sitting on my shoulder telling me what to do. So she just mentally visualized me telling her exactly what to do, and she's able to execute it. You know, and that's where when you know, Maddie, when you start talking about the visualization, you know, I've used a lot of that in my teaching as well. You know, you got to visualize what you want, and it's just everything else that you're doing, visualize what you want, and you can make it happen.
Pretty sure she has in her mind me and her coach saying, keep your bow hand up, keep your bow hand up all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of people have a tendency to drop, especially those great big long stabilizers. They're just so heavy.
Yeah.
So getting her to push through is a big thing too. That's one thing we learned from her coach, and just from watching how to do proper push pull, and just let that bow explode when it goes off, right?
Right. And that's what I teach, you know, basically what I teach is because I've been an archery instructor since 95.
Yeah.
And yeah, I teach the same thing the Olympic archers are using. Yeah, because it works. And I teach, you know, when you're shooting, that hand should go straight to your target. If it doesn't, you're throwing it off. And, you know, especially, you know, I had 20 plus years of martial arts, and it all just kind of works in together. You know, how you're efficient in your motion. And you know, that's why a lot of times I start teaching somebody, asking, do you have any martial arts experience? Because it helps solve some of the questions that I'm going to ask, and you know, the techniques, because they're already used to it. And you know, that's just some of the things that you go through, you know, that you can learn with coaching. And you know, one of the things that I have, because I always have the Archery Talk 101 Facebook group that I run, which you guys are welcome to join. I'll leave a link in the description on this podcast, but yeah, I can also send you the link to it as well. And there we have all kinds of different archers all over the world. You know, some of them for the countries that they're from, I have to Google it because I've never heard of them.
Oh, wow.
You know, these little bitty countries, you know, amongst, you know, big old areas and cities that I haven't ever heard of. And you know, it's just a community. We all just kind of talk together. And you know, and then I also have a coaching program. I do online coaching, you know, because it's a little more convenient. I can teach anybody, anywhere. And I offer a free 50-minute consultation call, you know, to see if archery coaching is for you. And you know, of course, Maddie, you have an excellent coach, and you know, so there's probably not much I could help you with, but there are other kids out there that could help. You know, I could help, you know, or adults. You know, a little more difficult with the kids, that the parents have to be involved in it. You know, but you know, that's something that I offer, and that's free. And I'll leave a description, you know, link to the form to fill out to, you know, book a call with me.
That's
But,
awesome.
you know, it's just so much fun teaching and then doing it online. And I know that when I was setting this up for being online, my first guy I was talking to, I was talking on Messenger, and he said he didn't have any coaches anywhere around him. So I said, well, you know, I'm thinking about putting together an online coaching program. I'll coach you for free just to see how it works. Well, it turned out he was in Italy. So
Wow.
my very first online coaching student was in Italy.
Wow.
That's
Yeah, and then when I started, you know, had the group, there was one of the guys in the group that was struggling, and I got him on a Zoom call, you know, because I do my coaching, you know, through Zoom calls like this. And I spent an hour with him, and he went from probably, you know, 6-inch groups to 3 hours touching just in a matter of, you know, a few weeks.
yeah.
You know, And that's the kind of stuff that coach can do. And Maddie, as you see, and John, as you see, coaching, yet could he have got there? Possibly. How soon? Like we talked about earlier, that coach is going to get you there a lot quicker.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, hey, I would
And
like to
it's
thank
nice
you,
have a
Maddie,
coach,
for
somebody that can see from the outside and
right,
see what you're doing, right? Because lots of times when
right.
you're trying to learn that, you can't see, like, your elbow's just out of line or something, right? You're like, what is going on? And it drives you crazy for a couple of weeks, and then just somebody stands behind you, you're like, hey, your elbow is just out of line, right? And you're struggling with your left and rights, and yeah,
Yeah. And that's where, videotaping yourself,
yeah,
can really help, because now I'm looking at me shooting as an instructor, because I can't see what I'm doing as well while I'm doing it. I don't know that my elbow is here where it should be here. I can feel the difference, but
yeah.
I might be out of line, and that's where, you know, we go through, videotape yourself shooting, and then go back and critique it. I don't know if you do that now or not, but that's
Yeah,
something you
we
might
use
look
the
at
phone
too.
all the
Is
time. Phone
yeah,
video, it's full of archery stuff.
yeah, yeah. It can really help out a lot. I know when I was first learning back tension release, that the guy had, that was back when, well, in 95, uh, there wasn't all these fancy cell phones. You had the big old cameras and VCRs and stuff like that.
Took a
So
while to hook everything up.
video, yeah, videotaping yourself and playing it back was not generally much of an option. So, we had to start off with, I'm going to watch you shoot, try and see something. I'm going to watch you again. I'm going to watch it multiple times and try and pick up. I'm going to watch one thing at a time. Like I might watch your hand placement. What do your hand does? Are you grabbing the bow when you shoot? But I can't see, are you lined up right? Nice thing about the video is we can go back and we can watch all those things, replay, and watch the whole thing. And it just really makes it a lot, a lot better now that we have, cameras that we can record this stuff on there.
One of the biggest game changers for us was getting this slow motion camera. So we got one that goes about 8 times slower than our phones can do. And
Oh yeah.
she's made several videos on just shooting random things with that, like Christmas balls and stuff. That looks so awesome in slow motion. But
Oh yeah.
um, yeah, just seeing like, hey, is this fletching hitting off my dropaway rest or something, right? Just being able to time everything just perfectly with that and just check everything, right?
Right.
It's a big game changer too.
Yeah, just like the smallest things can affect you so much.
Seeing that little twitch in the hand when you're shooting, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just trying to catch that to see if you're actually doing it, like if you're going to putting that tension in your hand that you don't want to kind of torque the bow, right? So you can really see that with that camera, whereas like trying to do it off a phone, it's not as easy. But
Right. Some of the new phones have some pretty good slow motion in them, but to have an actual slow motion camera, you can go frame by frame. It
yeah,
is really an advantage there. And
like you're saying about like hooking up to things, like it's really convenient because it hooks up to your phone through Bluetooth, so you can actually record it on the camera and then view it on your phone, so you can actually do your slide and scroll it really slow, and you slow it down even further from there, right? So
yeah, I know in the past, to see if you're fletching and hitting, you would put talcum powder on your rest and see if it wipes it off.
yeah,
But then you get this dust of powder, and okay, in fact, shooting it, knock it off, or do you actually the fletching hit it? And
yeah.
you kind of get that perfect alignment on the fletching. And I have a little bit more of a challenge because I shoot feathers still.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I still shoot feathers on everything. I don't shoot veins. I don't know. I guess I started out with feathers and it just didn't like to change.
I don't think you've ever tried feathers, have you?
No, I haven't. They look really cool.
They do.
Yeah, especially when you get some barred feathers or something. Like here's, I don't know if we can see it too well here. orange and orange barred feathers. That's one
Oh.
scheme that I have for my one son's arrows. Yeah. And then here's a couple of yellow barred feathers and a gray one. This is actually a gold tip carbon arrow, which is wood grain. So it looks like you're shooting wood, but you're not. So yeah, it's just so much neater to have feathers. Like I got a stack of them in the back here that my son brought over, my other son's arrows, and I just stuck them back here. I haven't done anything with them yet. Yeah, that's how it goes.
Oh yeah, we have
you get
piles of
okay.
everywhere.
We need to fix these. We need to fix these, and he's got a bunch of arrows he needs to fix. He's down to a few of them, and so it's always fletching. And when I had my store, of course, I had a lot of fletching jigs, and now I'm down to like 8 bits and burgers and 4 other plastic BPE ones, and I've had more of them, but I don't need all them because I'm not fletching massive amount of arrows.
Yeah, we used to gather up all of our arrows that we broke, and we'd take them down to Calgary where her coach was, and that's who was sponsoring her too, right? So he would fix up all of her arrows every time. We'd try to make it down there once or twice a month. It's about a 3-hour drive for us from Edmonton to Calgary. So yeah, we take these big piles of arrows lots of times down and be like, yeah, we have all these to get fixed. And it was nice that we didn't have to do it ourselves, but unfortunately they closed down now. So now we have to learn how to do that.
Yeah.
It's not hard and it's fun.
Yeah. It seems like fun. It seems like something we can do. We've gotten quite a bit of the stuff so far. We have a couple of jigs being set aside for us for when they go through everything. So we'll have some jigs, some helical and some straight. And
yeah, I have bits and burgers, and I have both the straight clamp and right helical clamp, and then there's 2 different type receivers. One if you want to do cock feather down or out, like for your recurve, you're going to do it one way, and your compounds another way, because the rest is different.
yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And nice about the bits and burgers, you can take that helical clamp and you can put it on a carbon arrow, because you can offset it so that it's helical, but it slides on that little skinny shaft.
Yeah. Her big arrows for indoor are helical spine, but her outdoor is straight.
Straight.
So that's just how her setup is right now. But
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun talking to you two about archery. It's always nice to hear some of these nice stories, and I'm sure glad, Maddie, you decided to come on the podcast with us and talk to us, and I'm glad to see your dad joined us as well. I thought I heard him in the background a couple of times. Let's get him on here too.
I was listening in and giggling a little bit. I know she's really nervous. This is her first time doing anything like this, so
Yeah.
So.
Hey, you did good. And part of it's just be yourself. Talk about what you want to talk about, and that's always fun thing about archery is we can always talk about archery.
Mhm.
Yeah.
There's always something we can talk about on it.
Oh yeah, I probably annoy all the guys at work talking about it all the time.
Yeah, that's something that we sometimes talk too much about it. No,
Yeah.
we don't.
Just the right amount.
Yeah, just the right amount. So anyway, this podcast, it'll post next Monday.
Okay.
I've got it scheduled to come on there, and you can watch it on Spotify. And I can send you a link to it, and so you can watch your interview, as well as I'll leave a link in the description for the Facebook group, as well as to get the form to fill out for a consultation call in the description down there. And if you have any questions, you can always get a hold of me. There's a couple of ways you can get a hold of me, either on the Facebook group. I'm on there every day, or you can message me, or however you want to do it. But yeah, I'd encourage any archer to get in that group, because we've got quite a few people out there. There's over 500 members right now And yeah, and there's all kinds of stuff, people want form reviews, we do that. If you technical questions, we answer some of those. Just whatever questions archers have, whether it's your first one, getting your first bow, to somebody that's, at your level or even higher. It's just a group where we can get in there and we can talk about archery. There's no sales going on in there. If he sees somebody posting a link to something, and it gets deleted. So I try to make it a safe place for archers to get there and talk about archery and learn. Like I always say, that the only bad question is the one you haven't asked yet.
100%.
Yeah, because if you have a question, it's only bad if you haven't asked it. Once you ask it, because it's something that you didn't know or wanted to know. And there's always somebody out there that can answer pretty much any question you have.
Yeah.
So,
Well, awesome. Thank you for doing this, and
Yeah,
thank you
thank
for
you.
having us on. I know it was a little impromptu you having me come in here, but
yeah.
thank you.
And I think let's see, was it today your birthday?
2 days ago.
2 days ago. Okay. I know it was pretty close. I couldn't remember. Because I did
Yep.
see it come through, and that's how I seen your name. We've been friends on Facebook, and I like to talk to everybody at least once a year. And you said you had just got your driver's license.
Yeah.
Yeah, she just got her learners, so now we get to go through that. So I
Well,
taught her archery, now I got to teach her how to drive.
Well, if you put your mind to learning how to drive like you do in archery, you'll be an excellent driver.
I think so.
Yeah.
I think she's tried it a couple times in when we picked up our trailer in their parking lot, but she's done great. She's nice and smooth, so we'll see how that translates onto the road when it's not so slippery out there.
Yeah. Right now might not be the best time to go out there and learn.
Yeah, it was
all the snow and ice.
it was minus 40 when just the other day, so it was rushed from the car into the registry to do the exam, and then back up to the car and then home.
Yeah, and one day my Oma dropped me off from I do curling for school. It's just something else. And once she dropped me off, and I was getting out of the car, and I stepped down and I fell and scraped my back against the step thing you step onto to get into the truck. It's because the road was so icy that I didn't fall on the ice when I went to go curl, but I fell on the road getting out of the car.
Yeah, that darn ice.
Yeah.
Get you every time, won't it?
Yeah.
Especially when you're not expecting it.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, you jump out of the road, you don't expect it to be a skating rink.
Yeah.
You can literally take to school.
Yeah.
Put your skates on when you get out of the truck, right? Except that don't help much either.
Yeah.
They're designed to glide on the ice. Well, anyway, Sean and Maddie, I'd like to thank you for being on the podcast. It's been really good chatting with you, and I'm sure we'll talk later.
You bet.
When you let us know how you're doing in some of your events. Get in that Facebook group and post what you did. Upload some pictures of your shooting and stuff. That's something you can do, and just have fun.
Okay, sounds great. We'll definitely join.
Good. All right. Thanks.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. Once again, my name is Roy Canterbury. I've been your host today on Archery Talk 101, and with our special guests, Maddie and Sean Holkema, and we'll talk to you guys later, and we'll see you next week.
Thanks.